This week, apparently, a small step is as big as a tower, so we can't have any deliveries of cement powder. The relationship with this landlord continues to sour as negotiations go down to the final hour. And when I'm needed most, and it's no time to cower, I head off into the sunset with 656 brake horsepower. I'm Daniel, and it's Ashville Weekly, episode 194. It's Monday morning, and where would I rather be but in the yard? And it's time to pour more concrete on our new train track. Let's do it. We are pouring 6 metre sections in between 6 metre sections which were poured previously and dried. You can see the expansion joints between the sections. These brakes create a tolerance for movement when the concrete expands and contracts and will help limit cracking. Looks like Network Rail are on the way in now. We have a meeting with them because just outside our yard where we connect to the main line from the secondary line in our yard, there's some vegetation on the track which needs to be cleared. Our trains coming from the top, loco first, the switch is down there, and then we go out onto the main line and then we push the rest of the wagons in.
Spot on, we trim it all, clear all.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, nice.
The area in question. I can't go out onto the main line because I'm not in me full orange. That's the outside of our second gate. We've done our work, and once that's cleared, we should be able to see the track a lot better, and Network Rail will work out if that needs any work. On the floor over there's a plate. That plate marks the boundary of responsibility. Everything here is us, and everything after that is Network Rail. Multiple teams working simultaneously. The lads here are cutting, fitting and tying the levels of mesh together to prepare for more pours. It's an extremely productive and well-planned Monday morning. I must confess, for a little while, I've been looking at a few things in the yard and thinking, this yard's a write-off. When we get to the other yard, we'll sort it. And that is not the right way to behave. Had a meeting with Simon, the accountant, on the weighbridge to sort out all these bags you see everywhere. Got a load of bags here, we've got a load of bags there, we got a load of bags down by the bagging plant. And I'll be honest, we don't know how many bags we've got. It's good to have stock because if a grab comes in quickly and they need to take it, they've got it. And a lot of the bags are getting damaged, the forklift is stabbing them. Any bag which is damaged, we're gonna cut it, put it back in the material pile. Any bags which are good, we're gonna put it in an Excel spreadsheet, how many bags we have currently, and moving forward, when there's a call from the office to the railway yard, let's say they want 3 bags of sand, if we have 10 bags of sand, we're not just gonna go making another 3. So hopefully with a bit of organization, we'll know exactly what we've got, the process will be quicker, and we won't be wasting bags like we have been. I'm gonna take that on my shoulders as my fault because I've seen it going on and I've just left it, and in the yard at the moment everyone is extremely busy. Another place where we're extremely busy is at the refurbishment project where work continues. Last week we showed you the dot and dab and boarding in the kitchen area. The lower areas are complete. We're now using a temporary tower to gain access to the higher level. One fitter at ground level cuts and passes to the fitter on the tower. We've created a landing above the first floor level to access the ceiling void in the double height hallway area. The plasterers are taping all the joints to prepare and then plastering. Ben's back. Hello, Ben. How are we getting on? What are you doing? So you're going to drop the flatbed? You're right, it seemed very deflated. Yeah? It's Monday morning, and you're in the yard. Those wheels are working perfectly. Hey! Bit of a surprise. O'Donovan lorry in our yard. Let's call Michael and find out what's going on.
Daniel, my brother, you look older than me.
Two things. This is how you do concrete. That's the first thing. Secondly,
Okay.
I was just walking through the yard and one of your lorries was here. Do you mind explaining why you're in my manor, what you're doing?
Was it a Cayley plant lorry?
I could tell it weren't a Cayley plant lorry from far because it weren't broken down.
That's my son.
Well, it's still you.
No, not me. Nothing to do with me. I sold out. And this is my other son.
Why is your face so red?
You'll be ready if you drank as much drink as I did. I can't interest you in hiring a forklift.
No, Michael, I don't want a forklift, thank you.
Why does that concrete look like the waves of a sea?
I think you're talking about my hair, Michael, if you want to talk about waves.
Don't keep rubbing the top of your head because it's just coming off in your hand.
That concrete doesn't look like waves. This is a fantastic finish to the concrete.
So the carriages can roll into the yard.
Yes, so the carriages can roll into the yard. Yes, Michael, very good. You know when you call someone and then you regret it? You brush your hair today?
No. Always looks good like that. Always look tasty. Oi, who's that behind you? Is that a new film, man? Do you want a proper job?
Oh,
Do you want a proper job? Because where's Will? It's this up. Will, come here. What, you don't want to talk to him? No, he doesn't want to talk to you.
brush your teeth and comb your hair. I'll see you in a bit.
Don't be long.
Obviously, I got no answers or any sense whatsoever out of the man. It's a glorious sunny day in the yard. Another 6 bays are done. We're moving. Time now is 2:47 p.m. and it has been an incredibly productive day. That has to be the last one down here because they need to see where the weighbridge is. I need you to measure the weighbridge and the silo. They've got to have concrete pads. Silo and 2 water tanks here. We are going to get all of this ready. When we move it, the silo engineer has to be here. The weighbridge engineer has to be here. You lot need to be here to connect. In order to learn why we're doing this, you need to watch the new yard update video. We need to put a plan in place just to get by and operate at the moment. So Dudek has been crowbarred from the refurbishment project and brought to the new yard. Plenty to do. Doing a bit of testing on the wheel wash because I've just seen that it looked bone dry. I'm just driving past the sensor to see if it's working again properly now. We'll give it a little reset. There's a little time delay on it. Is it kicking in? Yes, it is.
Not pumping out.
It's not pumping out of there?
Yeah.
There's a short then, okay. And once again, what is going on here? Went to grab the keys for the tipper that's parked just after the wheel wash. The driver's off today. No point getting the wheel wash working and then people can't drive over it because there's a lorry in the way. My townie's having a look. We can get it started, but the water in the wheel wash is not pumping back to the reservoir. And that doesn't help either. We're gonna have to put something around that to stop that. And by the smell of this water, it's been stagnant for a while. Problem is, you can't check the pump while it's covered in water, which Mikey fitted a few months back. Good to see the driver paperwork is in here, which I made a while back. Excellent. On a little clipboard. Love that. Got a few parked up today. It's probably drivers on holiday because it is that time of the year. Gonna go and have a word with a tyre fitter and ask him to do a quick fleet check. He's probably already done it, but just a check on the ones which are in the yard to make sure that everything is 100%. So when the drivers are back in, they can get on the road nice and quickly with no problems. How we doing, mate? check all the treads, any slow punctures, any pressures, just so when the lads are back in, there's no problems, yeah?
Yeah. One of them came off the other day that was really bad on the tracking side. He had 10 on one side and 0 on the other.
Okay.
Completely sloped over, so I've got that side ready, so I'll re-cut the side up.
Sometimes if one side's gone and not the other, you can like flip it on the rim.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut it and then turn it.
And then turn it on the rim.
So hopefully we'll be all right
Okay.
with that.
So we'll cut the steers, but not the rears. Yeah? Sweet. Thanks, mate. And a little fleet check.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Just checking over all the tyres, make sure there's no cuts, no bulges, nothing that's going to cause this truck to be stuck on the side of the road when he next goes out. Any stones in the tyre, I just pry out, because if a stone's already in the tyre and another stone lands on the exact same spot, it's going to try and force that stone into the tread deeper than what it originally was. This is just a little pick, get the stones out. I can open up cuts just to kind of see if I can see the cords down there. In my pocket, I've got a tread depth gauge, which I'll go around and check all the tread depths. Little hammer, simply just give it a little tap on the wheel nuts. It sounds hollow. It's because the wheel nut's firmly up against the wheel, so it makes a hollow sound because it's going through the whole wheel. If it makes like a light ting, it's because there's a little bit of a gap or it's a little bit loose. These should be okay because these have got tread markers, as you can see, and these point towards each other to let us know if the wheel starts spinning. So if the wheel nut starts spinning, obviously this marker will be away from the other one. So that's one easy way of figuring out, but it's worth checking anyway. As you can see here, we've got a deep, wide cut in our sidewall. Also, I can see cords, so this will need to be changed. So I'm going to call this in for the vehicle to move around to my tyre bay so I can get a new tyre on this. While we're also here, one thing I do also like to check for is you can see these little arrows going around the tyre, and on the tyre tread, it's a directional tyre. If it's going the wrong way, it will just try and rip itself apart.
We're gonna bring the sweeper over, suck all the water out of it, and then Baratush is gonna pop down and have a look at the pump. It's causing a short circuit. Luckily, it's a nice sunny day and there's no mud, so I'm just gonna turn on the sprinklers now for a little bit of dust suppression. Now going back over to the Volvo tipper we've been trying to put back together. I told you last week there was a problem with the plug to plug in with the diagnostic computer. Well, the new one has arrived and we're trying to crimp all the cables together and plug it in to see if we can see what's going on. Our cement supplier has made a recommendation. We created a step for them so they could connect to the fill pipe, but they've now asked for a handrail. We got a couple of bits and pieces around the yard, which we're gonna put together and try to clamp on. We want everyone to be happy and safe, and we do need cement because we are extremely busy. So the sooner we can get this done, the sooner we can send them a picture, get approval, and get them in for 30 ton of cement. Ben is delivering bulk bags of material to site in a 20-yard bin. He drops the bin, pulls up alongside it, and places the bags onto pallets. We generally use the flatbed for these type of deliveries, but until the timber is replaced on either side, we'll be using a 20-yard bin. Michael, my brother, you are most definitely hundreds of years older than me.
Daniel, you haven't got a mirror in your house, obviously. Because if you looked in your mirror, you look far older than me. And listen to me good. Have you got more than one tipper that's not broke down?
Do I have more than one? I think, I can't fully confirm that, but I think so.
Would you have tippers that could carry muck to a tip without causing complete mayhem and bits falling off them on the way?
If you're referring to Ashville providing you with haulage services, the answer is yes, Michael, if that's what you mean.
That's what I wanted to know, yes. I didn't know. I knew you had a 3-tonner and a transit. I didn't know if you'd upgraded since then. I know you put wooden sides up the transit to see if you can get a little bit more on, but I didn't know if you'd upgraded since I spoke to you last for the transit.
It appears I have, Michael. It appears I have.
Have you still got the bell?
The bell?
Any old iron rag of bones?
Are you all right? You're having a good day, ain't you?
Been busy since 5:30 this morning. Did you know? You didn't know there was 2 5/5s in the one day, did you? You haven't quite worked that one out yet. You need to get a watch with 2 5/5s in it. The last one I see you, it was a Mickey Mouse watch, wasn't it?
Michael, do you know it's always a pleasure speaking to you?
You know that, don't you? I cheer your day up. So we can cover, can we, with the Transit and the 3.5 tonner?
Yes, and maybe 1 or 2 tippers with the sides falling off them, and the cyclist rail falling off, and the 2 punctures on the back of it, and the horn that goes whenever you push it. Yes, it's been emotional, Michael, and I've enjoyed you immensely.
Yes.
You have a great rest of your day.
Right. Okay, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Get the sides on the Transit and pump the tyres, Rick, but the job's coming over to you.
Ta-ra!
Bye-bye.
He couldn't just call me and say, Dan, we're struggling on this job. Are you busy? Can you put a few lorries on it for me? He couldn't call and say that. He couldn't. Anyway, it's still work. And as you saw earlier, we had a couple parked up today. So we'll be glad to jump on the haulage work and help our O'Donovan haulage. Couldn't find a fault with the pump. The pump started working again. I think it's a sticky switch. But when we had a look within the reservoir, there was a load of slurry and silt from washing the wheels. So we gave that a clean. The wheel wash is a 3-tank system which continually circulates water and filters. Tank 1 is the return water from the wheel wash. Heavier debris descends to the bottom. The water at the top, once it gets to a certain height, moves over into tank 2 once it's gone for a filter. Tank 3, which we are cleaning now, is where water is pumped to feed the wheel wash once activated. The slurry you can see at the bottom is a mixture of silt, water, sand, stone and other material from cleaning the underside and wheels of trucks. Once the water remains still, the silt is formed at the bottom and needs to be removed as it could block the pump. Once clean, we refill the entire system with water and begin to test again. While it's important to work hard and do well, it's more important to be safe and for everyone to go home at the end of their day or shift. Operationally, a business like Ashville has so many moving parts, it requires constant supervision and management. Prevention is better than cure, so we try to be preemptive and stop issues before they happen. We do this using Connect Team, a mobile-first solution to manage a deskless workforce. For instance, if a member of staff is walking across the yard and they see a trip hazard, they can report it immediately digitally, so the issue can be reported to management and can be addressed. We have lorries which work on construction sites on a daily basis, and some of our drivers are also crane operators. Their licenses, certificates and certification is all digitally stored with alerts to set reminders when refresher training is required. This means we can manage our staff training and increase the chances of keeping them and everybody else safe. And, on request, present documentation to evidence this. 80% of the world's workforce is made up of frontline, non-desk employees. Our team consists of HGV drivers, crane and machine operators, and technicians. That's why I use Connect Team. It works for all size companies in all industries: construction, field servicing, retail, food and beverage, and security. Computers and emails are not for everyone, so Connect Team steps in to bridge the gap and provide an all-in-one employee management app. It's simple to set up and easy to use for both employees and managers, and employees can use it on their mobile from anywhere. So download the app and click the link in the description for a free 14-day trial version with no credit card info needed. It's Wednesday. We're in the yard. Oh God, it's Wednesday and I'm not in the yard. I'm dropping off my current Defender for service. It's going to be up for sale soon, and I want to make sure that it's 100% before I move it on and sell it to anyone. And the technician put the covers on the seat and the steering wheel in the foot area, and I said, why are you doing that? He said,
to keep the mechanics clean.
Generally they do it to keep the car clean for customers, but they've done it the other way around with me. Yesterday, we had it on, and I thought that this was shorting. We sucked all of this out, and then it started working. But now we've pulled that out this morning, and the problem is there was a mesh cover stopping the big stones going in, but somehow the mesh cover's gone, but the mesh cover is too big for the sweeper to suck it up. It's too big to go down the pipe. When it went in, it had the mesh. What's happened is the pump has sucked up all the massive rocks and destroyed itself.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So I've called them. It's not in stock. It's about 3 days, they're sending me a quote, but it's the same pump that's got to drop in, and somehow we're gonna have to make sure that the mesh is secured. If the mesh broke off, where is it?
I don't know, were you shouting at me like?
No, I'm not shouting at you, I'm not shouting at you, I'm just saying,
I
like,
didn't do it.
I know you didn't, but I'm just saying, the mesh is gone.
I didn't do it. Like I did your heating in your car.
You know what this man did yesterday? I've noticed the temperature's risen significantly. So I've turned my car on. It's only gonna be a couple of minutes. And I've put the air conditioning on full blast to calm my car down. It's a black car with black seating. It attracts the sun. It's very hot. I'm wearing black as well. I wanna be slightly comfortable on my drive home while I'm trying to think and refresh. Terry, in his infinite wisdom, decides to see my car on and go from low to high and puts my aircon on maximum heat. As soon as I get in my car, I'm like, what's going on? And then I look and it's blowing out hot air. Thank you, Terry. It's amidst everything that's going on that you have the capacity to take on that level of work as well.
I just couldn't pass the opportunity up.
I mean, chance favours the prepared mind, doesn't it? Well done, Tel. I mean, it's the small victories, isn't it?
I'll get my kick somewhere.
We're done, just making them look nice and pretty. Time is 9:43. We're going well. Today we have another 4 to pour. And railing. Hopefully we can now send this to the cement supplier and they'll give us the thumbs up and we can start getting deliveries of cement again because we're running very low. Ben is collecting a machine for which the hire has ended. He tracks on, slews around, and lowers the arm. This is the exact same set of circumstances which previously would cause the timber through the central area to get damaged. Now we have steel in place, this is no longer a problem. Ton machine just came off hire. In case you're wondering how the Ben cam works, Ben, that is the Ben cam. So all the footage that Ben gets when he's dropping off and collecting machines, this is what does it. He looks like a miner or mole from Winnie the Pooh, you know, when he pops up from the ground and says news from the underground, sir. Ben, why is there a plant on the lorry?
I've got it for the old girl downstairs.
Very nice, Ben. Think he needs a little bit of water, but what do I know? Maybe I should ask my mum. My mum likes plants. Taking time out today. I'm at Urban in Milton Keynes. I'm collecting my car and then heading straight back. With everything going on and the stress I'm under, it was something bright happening in the middle of a very challenging day. And
relatively relaxed with this, right?
Yeah, no, I have. That's why I didn't rush it.
You've been hassled at all,
No,
have you?
you must have been so busy that, like, this has actually wrongly taken a back seat in your brain.
It has taken a back seat.
Let's get on with it, ain't it?
Maybe you trust us now, yeah? Say it.
That as well. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. But just to let you know, the sort of challenges I'm facing. Earlier in the yard, I showed you the handrail we put in. We get deliveries of cement to make concrete. You have to put your foot like this, and then you step on that level to connect a fill pipe. Yeah. They said, we're not coming back and giving you any more cement till we have a handrail. So we put a handrail on. They've now come back and said they need a step before the step, and the handrail now has to go and connect to the ground. And if I don't do it, I cannot have cement.
This is health and safety eggs, right?
This is health and safety. And I'm pouring concrete in my own yard each day. And I've got concrete that I've got to pour for customers.
If you're connecting up said pipe to said area,
Yes.
and you probably need 2 hands to do so,
Yes.
How are you going to use
how are you going to use the handrail?
Now, these are the complexities that I dare not ask because they are above my pay grade. If you want to see my new car, it's a standalone video. Click here to watch it now. Back in the yard, and Rudy from Laser Steer has turned up because there's a couple of lorries that the tyre fitter spotted. The tracking must be out because of the way the tyres are wearing unevenly. So Rudy's going to use his laser line and get them all pointing in the right direction. Time now is 6:45. Going for a walk across the yard. That looks to me like it's going from floor level. Don't think anybody could argue that. It's tied together, it's not going anywhere. Looks nice and sturdy. I don't think there's enough space to put a step there. We're going to put some type 1 and build up a slope. We can't actually put a step there because the silo's not going to be here for much longer. So we just need to put something in for the time being just to get us by. Couple of weeks back, I was standing in the sand bay over there and a tipper came back that Terry and I were looking at, and we thought it was the diff because the smoke we could see coming off it. I believe I went round and I checked all the brakes to see how hot they were and they felt normal. But it turns out when the lorry actually got back to Scania that one of the calipers was holding the brake. So the brake was on the entire time and the heat which was coming off it and the smoke was that area overheating. Lorry was fixed that night. A Scania engineer came out and it's been on the road ever since. That is it for a very long Wednesday. It's Thursday morning. Morning around again. On the way to the yard. I picked up my old Defender, what I dropped off yesterday morning for the service, taking it to the yard so I can get a new windscreen fitted, prepare it for sale. So I've left the new one at home. We are meant to be out of the yard tomorrow. Business is a strange thing. Me personally, I would rather sit round the table, talk to people, come to an agreement, shake hands and do it. But in the real world, that doesn't work. It needs to be contractual. People don't say what they mean. They don't say what they think. Everybody's trying to guard their hand and get the best deal possible for themselves, which I understand. As they say, business is business, but it makes negotiating extremely difficult and long-winded. And the closer you get to the point where the deal needs to be made, the more intense it gets. It's almost a point where whose nerve will buckle first because the time is running out. Tick tock. And then what you do, you go through all the scenarios which will happen after this. What's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? What position will we be in? How can we overcome those challenges? And if we don't have an agreement, are we worse on the other side or are we better on the other side? And then you think to yourself, how does it affect the other party? We're here scrambling for something, but if they don't come to an agreement, how will it affect them and that individual's position within their company, and how will their superiors view what they've done? It's complex. It's definitely not straightforward. Without the test, there is no testimony. Oh my God, no way! We've run out of room. It can't be that long.
The wheel wash is going to have to go this way.
See where that pile of material is? Yeah. That's where the wheel wash is going to be. The tank next to the fence and the other one here, the water's here. So unfortunately, Chris, you're going to have to run the water round that way. So we're going to have to go under that gate. Bagging plants go in here, but I need you to leave a little gap. I need to put a couple of bags down. This cannot ever be blocked, access to the main line. So you can start the next containers, give it a bit of space, start them here. Before we move anything, all of the slabs have to be done. One crane in here, one crane in there, and we're gonna rent an Arctic with a 40-foot flatbed, take it off there, bring it round here, drop it, round there, around here, round here, round here, round here, and bar the touche will connect everything in 30 seconds. The new plan is coming together slowly, Bartek measured up everything in the existing yard and we have a home for it here. There's a bit of a problem with the levels and only the generator is going to sit in its final resting place. The rest will have to be moved again. But what we're doing means the rest of the entire yard will be open for operating. It's going to be an intense couple of weeks and an intense day tomorrow, considering we're meant to be out by the end of the day. Build it up with type 1. Let's see how they feel about it. It's a tiny step. And now as that the type 1 goes over the hose connecting the water to the pump, the hose is no longer a trip hazard as well. Let's hope that this is now good enough for the cement supplier. This lorry's being loaded because it's going out on a job and we are pouring 80 meters. Had a drawing come through from the engineers with the electrical plan for the new yard. Now this is in very basic terms. This is where the different boards are going to be and how everything's going to feed into each other. We have the incoming power and then we have our main unit where the power goes in. I believe that the power is converted from kVA to kilowatts from this point. This goes into a main board. You can see by the size of it just on that drawing how big it's going to be. Our generator will also plug into this board, and if the power was to drop, then our generator would be sent a signal to kick in immediately and be able to power the entire yard. Now this could take about 3 minutes. If we were a hospital, it would have to be split second immediate because it's life and death. And then from this main board, we go to all the other smaller boards throughout the yard. This is great because this main board, I can send it to panel manufacturers and switchgear manufacturers, because this isn't really something that somebody would have sat on the shelf. It's very specific. Someone's going to look at this drawing and build this, kind of like ordering a very rare vehicle. They don't mass produce it. When it's called upon, a quote goes out and then they build it to the specification. The other smaller parts, they could also price that, but this main board is where we need to get a price at the moment. We don't have a specification on the cable. Our engineers are working on it. This will be based on the duration and the load it needs to hold. Now it's time to get my windscreen repaired. Ben's just got a 1-ton machine on. He's heading out to Edgware to deliver it. It's Friday and I'm in the yard and the starter motor's gone on one of our volumetrics. So it's getting towed back to Scania in Heathrow. That is not the start to the day that I wanted. Now we're one concrete lorry down and we're flat out today trying to pour around 200 meters, 60 of which is in the yard. At the end of the day today, we're meant to be out of this yard. We're trying to come to an agreement with the existing landlord. Thus far, we have been unsuccessful. But the time is 8:25. It's going to be a long day. And at the end of today, the world could be at the end of today, the world will be a completely different place. 5 more to go. Let's get them done. 926 threw up a fault with a knock sensor. So we ordered a sensor, we put it on the machine, and we tried to get it to regenerate itself. We ran it at 1600 RPM for an hour, but it didn't spot the sensor, didn't regenerate. So now we've brought a team in who are gonna plug in and try to force it to regenerate manually. If it was the knock sensor, then that should get this machine working again. Time is 2:32, heading up to my office for some lunch, a little bit earlier than scheduled. Our tyre technician, you know, he takes a lot of pride in the van. You saw the work he did previously. Well, there was a dent in it, and he asked to get it taken to a workshop because he wants to take it out so he can keep the van looking pristine. So that was dropped off just now. Tessa's giving me a lift. Time is 5:35 and I have to left there. And I'm collecting a vehicle for the Yanimais Grand Tour, which couldn't come at a worse time with the work that needs to be done. We haven't reached an arrangement with our landlord and our lease runs out at 12 o'clock tonight. However, 5:35, possibly an email could come in and an agreement could be reached. But at the moment, we are in limbo.
We are indeed.
The fitter is still in the yard trying to work his way through the 926. The last I heard, he went to get a tester for AdBlue so he could see if that AdBlue reading was a result of bad AdBlue or if the system was reading it incorrectly.
I think there's been an update since then, actually.
Well, what's the update?
No, there definitely has, because I signed this tablet.
You signed his tablet?
Yeah.
What did you sign for?
They drained the AdBlue.
Yes.
And put new AdBlue in it.
Yes.
So they know the AdBlue was clean. So he's saying it's the tank level sensor.
Oh.
So his boss is going to send you the link to buy one from the same website that you bought the knock sensor from.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
There is an update, see?
There is an update.
It's good to talk.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, there is an update.
Yeah, sorry.
We need to order a new AdBlue tank. At least someone's on it. At least someone knows what's going on.
An
AdBlue
level sensor.
Level sensor. Okay, well that's not bad. That's not bad news. At least we know. At least we know what the problem is. At least we know what the problem is. And I'm about to find myself in a whole heap of new trouble.
What's going on there?
Saturday, bright and early. I'm in the yard. Not that many lorries out today. We got about 50 meters of concrete on. You saw a couple of weeks back, we had the cab of the lorry fill up with smoke on one of the Volvos as the battery within the tracker failed. Well, today we're fitting a new tracker in that lorry and we're fitting a tracker in another lorry, which are the only two left in the fleet which don't have trackers. We still don't have an agreement with the landlord, but we work on a Saturday, but I don't believe they do. By Monday, we will have a clearer picture of what's going on and either the solution or the consequences which are going to be faced by either party. We are in the realms of what is legal, how long things take, interpretation, trying to stay positive and doing the task that I have immediately in front of me, because at the moment, that's all we can really do. Saturday afternoon, I'm heading to meet up with the team from the Yanimais Grand Tour. Straight away, for the avoidance of doubt, yes, I am driving a Lamborghini Urus. No, this vehicle does not belong to me and it's only part of the Ashville fleet temporarily. I was looked after and I am going to be driving this vehicle for the duration of the tour. I love it. It's a very nice car. However, I have other priorities, like a new yard, which is going to cost as much as the budget deficit. And I need all new machines. And by the time I do that, I'm probably going to need a bunch of new lorries as well. I have ambitious plans for my business, so I can't spend money on objects of magic. Is that what they call them? At the moment. It isn't the best time for me to be going away. However, this was planned 2 years ago, and I gave Jan my word, and I want to support him for this period. This is huge. I remember in 2019, I wasn't actually doing any videos or content then, but there was a moment in the last Yanni Mai's Grand Tour when I saw a roll-on, roll-off lorry. At the time, Yanni's creative, Ara from So Incredible, he saw that footage and he spoke to Jan, and I connected with Ara, and that's how the Ashville YouTube channel started. So for me, it's a bit of a walk down memory lane. Thankfully, it's a drive-in tour, and I say why thankfully, because I can be on the phone the entire time. So throughout the day, I've got no co-pilot, so I can make my own decisions. I can stay on the phone, and whenever we pull over, I can respond to emails and messages. I've got my laptop with me. I've got the DJI, as you can see. I've got my hard hat and high vis, so the project manager that no one asked for can strike again. A somewhat strange day. 1 minute I'm in the yard and I'm dusty. The next minute I'm in a car heading to a tour, kicking up dust. Madness. Sunday morning, not in the yard. Terry has come to see me off.
Make sure he goes.
Yeah. Dudek's also down, Chris is down, they brought family with them. Having a nice day. It's nice and bright. Ashville Weekly episode 192 just went out. Car's cleaned and ready to go. Terry, do you reckon you're going to miss me?
Yes.
Yeah?
Like toothache.
Like a toothache. All right, very good. The sarcasm continues.
Yeah.
Even on a Sunday morning. How are we getting on, Cora?
You okay?
Do you like the cars? No, we like waffles. Somehow I'm already at the back, I'm lost. But it's not a race, it's a tour. So it doesn't matter where we are, we'll all get there at the same time as long as we get there safely. See you later, my man. Take care of yourself.
Biggest sponsor.
How we doing?
Good.
You alright? Shout out, always shout out Ashville. Quick pit stop for fuel before we jump on the train and make our way over to France. This is going to be my favourite part of the journey. This is Gus from Yanni Mai's, the head of the creative team. And you know that I am into trains. Are you not into trains? And I'm about to put this car onto a train. I am most definitely going to enjoy this. See, I thought I was serious with my train. This train is a double-decker, which goes underneath the English Channel. I'm the only person on the tour who's gassed that we're on a train. We should be leaving very soon, and then we will be in Calais and then heading to Paris. Nice. Yanni was kind enough to let Ashville get in the mix and have a small space on each of the cars. For me, it looks perfect. As on most cars, when you look at the number plate or the engine area, you see Ashville. And that's it for Ashville Weekly episode 194. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click down here for last week's episode, which was number 193. On the road again.